The F-14 is one heck of a crazy fighter, one that is an extremely respected aircraft. It was in service from 1974 until 2006 within the United States, and is actually still being flown by Iran forces today. Welcome to FTD Facts, a channel where generally I look at people, cultures, and places from all around the world. My name is Dave Walpole, and feel free to follow me on Instagram. But today, we're going to learn about the F-14 fighter jet. And if you guys like learning about aircrafts, every single Thursday I always talk about a new aircraft from around the world. So with that, you might want to hit that subscribe button and continue learning with us. And by the way, before I get into this, I just want to say that this video is dedicated to my good old pal Jed, who asked for me to talk about this aircraft a long time ago. He has a real love for this aircraft. The F-14, now let's take a look. Now, it's got some serious credits. It was the first supersonic twin-tail fighter for the United States, and it's also the first of what they call the Teen Series fighters. The fighter came from what was known as the F-11B program, which was developed under the United States Naval Fighter Experiment Program. It had its first flight on December 21st, 1970, and it was designated an air superiority long-range fighter, but also served as a fleet defender and even air reconnaissance. After it became officially part of the U.S. Navy, it first flew off of the USS Enterprise, which still to this day makes the F-14 the largest and heaviest fighter to ever be launched off of an aircraft carrier within the United States. Historically, when this fighter was introduced, its radar was also extremely advanced, being able to track up to 24 targets at a time. Today, of course, they can do much more, but during that time, it was way beyond what anything else could do. The F-14 fighter jet also surprisingly does not use ailerons to control the plane. It uses tailerons at high speeds, and for low speeds, it uses roll and wing spoilers. It also used what was known as the Pratt & Whitney TF-30 engine, which was the world's first heavily produced engine with an afterburner turbofan. As for its airframe, there are some interesting aspects, but one of the most interesting one is that 25% of its airframe is made out of titanium. I also forgot to mention that this fighter was also strictly a two-seater fighter aircraft. In today's world, two-seaters are generally used for training purposes, but back then the technology was much different, that you didn't really have heads-up displays like you do now. One of the individuals in this fighter was a radar operator called the radio interceptor officer, and the other was a pilot. Also, the guy in back was in charge of switching breakers in case something went wrong, in which sometimes it did. As for armaments, the F-14 could carry a bunch of different things, having up to 10 hardpoints. It also had an internal 1x20mm gun, but one thing that was unique about the F-14 was the Phoenix missile, a long-range radar-guided missile that clustered out and could hit 6 targets at once. It was the first missile to be able to engage multiple targets, and this missile was designed specifically for the F-14 only. This missile, although deadly, was actually never really used in combat, and to date there's only 2 known and confirmed incidents where they had to use this missile. The F-14 was also made out of the Grumman-Calverton plant in Long Island, New York. There were 3 versions that were made. These were the F-14A, B, and D. There was a C planned, however, eventually the D was rolled out in 1991 with its upgrades. In total, there has been 160 of these aircrafts destroyed by accidents. And as for the specifications, for its maximum speed, the fastest it was ever recorded was going at Mach 2.34. It also had a service ceiling of 50,000 feet and a range of 925 kilometers or 575 miles for combat. And speaking of combat, it's been seen in quite a few different theaters. For example, Iran used it in Syria lately. The United States of America last used it after they launched off of the USS Roosevelt during the Iraq conflicts in February of 2008. It was also seen in Desert Storm and was first used in America's evacuation of Saigon. The F-14 also made its first kill in the Gulf of Sidra incident on August 19, 1981, where 2 F-14 pilots shot down Libyan Su-22 fighters. Although these fighters are not in use, the total cost for one of these bad boys in 1998 came to approximately $38 million. And so far, many of these aircrafts are on display all over the United States in many different museums, and to this day, they are one of America's greatest military achievements. So there you go, guys. That is it. That is me looking at the F-14. If I missed any facts, feel free to put it down there because I always like to continuously educate people, and that is with your help. Before you guys get out of here, be sure to check out this playlist on amazing aircrafts if you like learning about different aircrafts. Again, I do it every single Thursday. And be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Also, if you're just into gaming and you like that sort of thing, feel free to follow me on my own channel called Picky Nerds. I'll put that down there in the description box below. But you guys have yourself a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Bye.